Listen to something funny. So I went around the corner to get some drinks from my mom and I. We got some Malta Guinness, which is quite popular and one of my favorites. So I go over there yesterday actually, and even today, and the gentleman over there proposes to me. Imagine, I've been here only 48 hours in Accra and I already got a marriage proposal from the guy who works at the bar. It's so funny. He wants to know exactly where I'm from and I just keep dodging his questions. Single ladies, come to Accra. You'll find a husband within 48 hours.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, even try to, nobody can match you. Don't you for life, sexy mind and body. You already got me now.
Just arrived in Accra. We're trying to get our luggage.
We the children of light, and we will never let up. Never giving up fight, yeah. We didn't make it through the night, yeah. Done the crawling all night. But keep your head up, Charlie. We were made for this life, yeah. Wait to see how we rise up. We've been there for too long, waiting for a come up.
Hello, so it is the day after our arrival and it's Sunday. It feels like deja vu because if you have seen my last vlog from Cameroon, when I did the Cameroon vlog, it was the same thing. Our flight was on a Friday. We arrived late Saturday night and then we were just relaxing on Sunday. Sundays here for the most part, just like in Cameroon, businesses aren't open. It must be an African thing, but I don't want to generalize and make a broad statement because I've only been to 2 African countries, you know, Ghana and Cameroon. Actually, I lied. I've been to a couple others like Togo and like Benin, but Benin we're passing through. Let me know if you want like a side story about that. But yeah, I haven't been to a whole lot of African countries, so I can't really make a sweeping statement. But I know Sunday is a day of rest and people take that seriously over here. So anyways, we're just relaxing. We're about to go just sit outside. A couple things I wanted to mention about our trip. So our flight was on Friday. And we took off from JFK International, as you would have seen from the montage previously. And it's funny because a lot of the places, as we were waiting for a flight, a lot of the places I wanted to get something to eat before we boarded our flight, were only taking credit cards. So I went and stood in line for pizza. No one will even like say hello and how can I help you, because they have the screen where it says, hey, put your order in and use your credit card, you know, AI automated, which is fine by me, but I wasn't trying to use my card. So a lot of areas we're not taking cash, which to me is bonkers because I thought cash was king, right? So I walked all the way down the hall, and those halls are not, you know, short. And I found a Dunkin' Donuts and they had sandwiches. So I grabbed a sandwich, I think it was a pesto and mozzarella and salami. I started eating meat again, so I got a salami sandwich because I didn't want a donut. And I grabbed a Gatorade and an Evian water for my mom, and the total was like 26 and some change for a sandwich, a Gatorade and Evian. The sandwich was $17, guys. That was wild. And I only bought it because they were taking, it seems like the only place that was taking cash. I don't know if it's the airport prices or it's just New York, but I remember coming to New York back in 2008, and one of my friends I went to college with, I was visiting her, and we went to Manhattan and I got like a sandwich and some chips and like a drink, and it was almost $30. So it has to be New York prices. The sandwich was good. I split it with my mom, and then once we got on the airplane, after about an hour, that's when they start serving us food. So yeah, one thing about international flights, they will feed you, so I wasn't worried about that. It's just I just needed something to tide me over until they served us dinner on the flight. And then we had a lot of turbulence like within the first 3 hours, and then when we were about to land again, we had a little bit because it was very cloudy. and we had to go through those clouds to descend. So yeah, but overall it was a nice flight. It was a direct flight, JFK to Accra. I love that nonstop. So once we landed, we were in our destination. We didn't have to make a connecting flight, which that can be stressful. It's a good time here so far. Hopefully I can go to some monuments, things that Accra is known for, like the Black Star or the Accra Mall, and then I'll vlog there. So I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, so what I'm eating right now, this is called kokonte. It's made out of cassava, right? Ground cassava and what?
Dry cassava.
Dry cassava, I'm sorry.
Pounded and ground.
Pounded and ground dry cassava. And this right here is greens. They call it kontomble.
Contemporary.
Kontomble. It has some fish in it. My cousin made it and it's just awesome. But I learned that this is not a common combination. Like these two don't go together, quote unquote, but I like it. Yeah, you just eat with your hands. You just cut it with your hands. Get a little bit of stew and put it in your mouth. And it's delicious. Okay, so we're getting ready to eat our breakfast. And what my mom is getting out of the plastic bag here is what we call cocoa. It's a little spicy. It's like they've added some ginger or something to it.
Hausa cocoa, describe it that.
Okay. Specifically Hausa cocoa. Anyway. I know in Cameroon they call it la bouillie. That's French, la bouillie. And then I know in Nigeria they call it pap. It's porridge. It's made out of corn, millet. It's a nice morning drink. It's good for your digestion. It's good stuff. And right next to it is kose, which is black-eyed peas, ground up, spiced up, and then fried. It's good stuff. In Cameroon they call it koki, so it's the same thing, black-eyed peas ground up, except we boil it in leaves. This one is fried up. It's so good. And then over here we have float. It's basically, you know, Cameroons will call it beignets. So you guys should be familiar with it if you're from Louisiana. You know what beignets are. Here we call it float. Good stuff. So that's a pretty decent heavy breakfast. You know, a little deviation from bread every morning. I quite like it. So this is what the kose looks like up close. I'll bite into it and show you what it looks like. It's delicious. Give it a little stir. I just put some brown sugar in it. You gotta put sugar in it.
What the thing?
It's sliding. I see it sliding. All for the YouTube video. I was gonna have it all over my shorts. Alright, so yeah, put some brown sugar and stir that up. It's good stuff. Okay, so we have Milo. I'm sure you've heard me mention this on my channel at one point or another. This is basically the best hot chocolate you'll ever taste. Like, hands down, period. Maybe second to Ovaltine. But that Nesquik mess is a no for me. So, get your hands on this. If you can go to any African store, they sell it in the Hispanic sections in Walmart or wherever. But yeah, this is Milo that I grew up drinking. So this is the, oh god, I gotta turn this TV down.
I knew who they were for the pageant.
Hang on.
And I'm like, wow.
Alright, so as I was saying, this is the famous WaaJe of Ghana. It's basically rice and black-eyed peas. It has a little bit of a brown tint to it. And it normally comes with a bunch of other stuff. You can add a bunch of other stuff with it. Almost like building a taco. That's the best way to describe it. But we don't want all that extra stuff on it. We just want the WaaJe, which is the rice with the beans. And then it comes with some meat and some fish. That's chicken right there. That's chicken right there. That's some fish. And it came with some stew, like it's like a tomato stew, and shito. I've talked about shito on this channel before. It's basically a lot of crayfish cooked together with some oil and some peppers. Crayfish, oil, peppers, cowskin meat, which we call, well, we call it kanda in Cameroon. Here they call it wele. So yeah, so there you have it. Alfred, do you want to say hi to the camera? I'm vlogging. Say hello to the camera.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my very good family friend, Alfred.
Yeah.
This is my cousin. You're taking me around. And yeah, it's a good time. So you're only allowed to fish within this area, not past the brick wall then?
Oh, you have to go through the brick wall.
Oh,
And
so this is
fish.
just where
Like
the
where
boats
they
are.
park their this thing, the
Oh,
canoes.
okay. So we are currently in the Usher fort, and they're going to show us a little bit of where the slaves were kept before they were taken overseas.
What the buildings we have down there is not actually where slaves were kept. It's a prison. It was a prison, yes. So that buildings that you saw there were built, or let me say, were hardly reconstructed by the British. So it was the Dutch who were on this land first. They bought this land, but because the British were already interested in this land, but it was not sold to them because the Ghanaian at that time did not have a very good relationship with the British. So he decided to rather sell it to the Dutch, and that got the British very pissed off. So when the Dutch built here, the British still attacked them. So the first war between both countries started in 1780. That was when they destroyed the fort. The British actually succeeded in destroying the fort. So the war took 4 years, 1780 to 1784. But then the Dutch were still bent on not giving up what they have to the British. So they also came back here, brought in their architect to help them reconstruct the place again. So that is what they did. And trade resumed. So they were just doing fine here. So we were just moving between Accra and the central region. So here you just have, as I told you, some of the methods that these Europeans were using in capturing them. So this is one. So you might be thinking these people are white, they are blacks, they are Africans. But then they work for someone, and that's someone who commanded them to come into the village just to capture the people. And also some of the buildings were destroyed by the people themselves because of the kind of memory it brings them. So they don't want them. And also because some of them were built too close to the sea, also the ocean has actually destroyed them. So the ones we have, that is the 28, is what we are trying to restore bit by bit. The ones we have down here is the remains of the Dutch fort.
Okay.
And the top there was built by the British. So this room that you see here used to be a mechanic shop
Okay.
when the Dutch were here. But then the British turned it into an execution room where the prisoners were executed. All the British, you don't need to commit a crime. The moment you say something against them, they see you as a threat. So up there, it's like a condemned cell, and those who have been sentenced to death, they are the ones who are kept up there. So the rooms are very small, but then you have a maximum of 10 to 15 people, all chained there. So every single person who was sent there was chained. So when it's time for you to be executed, you just come. So the entrance is just here. So you just descend, you come here, you are being executed. Then that's the end.
Okay, so did this already exist, or was it?
No, during the slavery was the Dutch who were using this place.
The Dutch
So-
owned this place?
Yeah, the Dutch owned this place. So
was
down
it-
here was the storage room. So as you can see, the Dutch, this was their storage space. So, because for them, they were trading here. Even though they were keeping slaves here, it was just small number of people because most of their slaves were at the Elmina Castle. So just few people were kept here. And this was their storage rooms. that they had here. Then you have the cells at the top. And here you have more cells. So this is cell block B. Block A is at the other side. So here you have block B. All the rooms that you see here, everything is a cell. So in this cell, actually there's no bed, no light. Yeah. If you see wires there, we place the wires here.
Okay.
For people come here to shoot movies, to have programs.
Okay.
That's why we have. So in one cell like this, we have a maximum of 15 to 20 people.
This small room.
Yes.
Oh.
That's more. So when the Ghana government took over this prison, that is when they decided that, you know, the place is too small for humans to stay here. So then everyone was taken out from here and they closed down this place. So now here we just have exhibitions in these rooms. So these are just empty cells. So this is cell block B. It's the same thing. The rooms at the top and the rooms down here is the same. But the cell block A is actually the same design. But that one too, you know, the building is very old, so it's just coming up, so they've closed it. But from here, I'll be taking you to the British Chapel, the Sudanese Mosque, then some workshops. Then I'll show you to the political cell where Kufuor and JJ were kept inside the other side. Yeah. Only politicians were allowed to live here, other side.
And they sleep here.
Yes.
No bed.
Yes. And they were chained. Like that, yes.
So we are currently at the Black Star Square. I don't know if you can see it behind me. Maybe not. But yeah, this is really cool. Let's give you a full circle view.